Welcome to the back room of the Randomville Bar and Grill, where it gets weird.
Hey folks, welcome back to Randomville, North Dakota from the middle of the Hoople Triangle, the great astrophysical phenomenon that finds itself in between three North Dakota cities. Those are Hoople,
Buttsville,
and Cole Harbor, or alternatively, you took the left turn at Absaraka, the right turn at Colfax, and when you came to the fork in the road, what did you do, Gracie?
you gotta take it, but don't take it.
You
You're
don't
gonna
take
it.
the fork, but take the fork. If you
It's
actually,
like a literal fork.
If you actually take the fork, we can't find the fork, and then we can't find Randomville.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you were a little late on Buttsville. I'm really disappointed.
I know. I'm sorry. Dan's not here. Dan usually does the Buttsville.
Fair enough. But we have some people here in Randomville. We brought them here thinking we could get them on the hockey team at Randomville State University, and then they showed up and they explained they already had commitments to other schools, so we were like, you know what, you're here, we might as well do an episode of Randomville. So we've got two members of the Bismarck Bobcats hockey team. We got Patrick Johnson, captain, forward on the team, and then we've got Klayton Knapp, goaltender on the team. Patrick's in his fourth year with the Bobcats. Clayton's in his first. Both are leaving. Wow, I can't talk right now. There we go. Both are leaving after this year. But guys, welcome to Randomville.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It's beautiful so far. Love it here, honestly.
Yeah, it's a
great.
beautiful place for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic. It's always nice when you just drink the Kool-Aid right away.
That, yes.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so I guess first questions, you guys are both hockey players, but not a lot of people might know what the Bismarck Bobcats are. What are the Bobcats, and what kind of hockey do you guys play?
Yeah, so I mean, this organization's been around for, 27 years now, I think. And, it's really a pretty cool piece to this town. The community support that we get and kind of giving back to our community that gives back to our team and organization, kind of having that whole full circle moment, I guess. It's pretty cool, and it's been pretty special these last 4 years to be a part of that. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to expand on like more of the hockey stuff, but
Yeah, so it's what they call junior hockey. It seems like in hockey, like the older you get, the younger they call you. Like you go from whatever to midgets, and now you're a junior, and it's like you're just getting degraded as you get older, essentially. But junior hockey is just so basically we're between high school and college. Some of the guys are still in high school if you're younger. I know my first year I was still in high school. I don't know about you.
Yep.
But so basically we get recruited, scouted to come to these cities and play for these organizations. And you show up, you wake up, you work out, play hockey every day, play a couple games on the weekends at 7:15 p.m. somewhere in North Dakota, Minnesota, or South Dakota. You get a Sunday off to hang out, and then you do the same thing basically from August to, hopefully you make it to the end of May. And it's pretty cool. You come here, you show up and they tell you, hey, Clayton, hey, Patrick, you're living with so-and-so. And you're like, all right. And then this is your family for the year. They're called billet families in hockey. And so it's a cool experience, especially when you're younger. Like, you move away from home and, you move hours and hours and miles. And basically these families just take you in, support you, give you food, give you a place to stay, family type atmosphere. And then obviously you meet a bunch of guys from literally all around the world, Europe, Canada, all over the U.S. And you play hockey and, hopefully you get a scholarship to Division I, which, Patrick's done, I've done. And so, yeah, we that's junior hockey, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Play hockey.
There we go, yeah. And I guess really quickly about you guys, I mean, when did you start playing hockey? What was your path to getting here? We'll touch on the hair in a minute, folks. Don't worry. We know you have questions, specifically Patrick.
Yes.
But we'll get there in a minute. But
Patrick's in the process. Don't worry.
What was youth hockey like for you guys growing up, getting to the place where you are, and where are you from, too?
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Started skating when I was about 3 years old, and then I think I picked up a stick not too much longer after that. Played all my youth hockey in St. Louis growing up, and I got a really good group of buddies that kind of went through pretty much from when I was 7 or 8 years old, and we're all still best friends now, and we all work out and skate with each other in the summers, which is fun to kind of have those guys that have gone through similar things. And I have some buddies that are still playing Ohio State, Sioux City, Iowa, and the USHL, kind of all over the place. And so yeah, pretty much just grew up playing hockey there. And then when I was 14, I actually moved out to Rochester, New York for a season. One of my good buddies that lived in St. Louis because his dad played for the Blues at the time, moved out to New York, and they had a good team up there, and asked me and one of my other best friends to go up there and play. So we went up there for a year, and that was kind of my first little taste of like billeting, I guess, or like living away from home at 14 years old, which is pretty young. And I don't know why my parents let me do that, but I'm forever grateful that they did let me do it. It was a great experience. And, you know, we had a good team up there, and it was fun to obviously do it with one of my best friends as well. And then came back to St. Louis for 2 more years, and, you know, didn't really know much about junior hockey, kind of what it was. And kind of growing up in St. Louis, hockey's big. It's definitely gotten a lot bigger since the Blues won the Cup, but before then, I mean, I didn't really know much about it. I had one cousin that was playing juniors at the time, so kind of had a little know-abouts of what it was, and was at a tournament in Arizona and talked to a scout from Bismarck then for the first time when I was 16 at the time, and then came up here in January after of that same season, and came up here, played in one game for my affiliate game. It's a pretty cool experience. Got to play at a home game, and was fortunate enough to score my first goal in that game actually too, which was pretty cool. So, and then after that, signed a tender with the Bobcats, and here I am 4 years later with blonde hair, and I'm almost 21 years old. So kind of a little time warp those last 4 years, but these last 4 years have been great.
Yeah, and then Clayton, your story is maybe a little bit different. So
yeah. So mine's a little different. I'm originally from a little town in Ohio called Waterville, Ohio. It's a suburb of Toledo. I don't even know how many people live there now. Maybe it might be up to 10,000 now. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, so I grew up. I think I first put on skates when I was 3. We got the Columbus Blue Jackets back in 2000. And I just kind of fell in love with the game right away. And I was like, you know what? Like, sign me up. Let's give it a try. And, so I was a player, learned how to skate. And then, I don't know, I was probably 6 years old. They needed someone to be goalie in practice. And I was like, you know what? Less skating, whatever, I'm in. So I hopped in net, and I fell in love with it there. So I was a player and a goalie simultaneously until I was probably, 10 or 11. Just for the Bowling Green Ice Cats. Bowling Green's about a town they have a Division I team about 20 minutes from Waterville. And so I played there, and then I got a call from a coach in Sylvania, which is the opposite way of where I lived, 20 minutes as well, just same highway, just opposite way. And, he kind of took me under his arm from there. And, it was a jump from just regular whatever hockey to AAA. And that was a pretty big jump for me. And, I got a lot of confidence there and just kept on building and building. And then kind of at 15 years old, I realized, I could maybe be good, maybe not be so good. I decided to give it a try, and I was like, you know what, let's go all in on this hockey thing. And, so that's where everything kind of started. Had a good year, and then 16s, had another good year with the Sylvania North Stars was the organization at the time. And then I played 1 year of U18 hockey. Then in the middle of that season, I was playing for the Tri-State Spartans for the first time. I was still able to live at home, which was good. I was still young and stuff. And then I got a call randomly on a Sunday night at like 11:30 p.m. from the GM of the Tri-City Storm in the USHL. And they're like, hey, our goalie got hurt tonight. He's out for the rest of the year. We want to bring you in for the rest of the year. This is 11:30 p.m., so I go upstairs to my parents. I'm like, hey, I'm leaving Tuesday morning at 7:30 from Detroit. Can you take off of work and take me? I was like, and they were like, what are you talking about, dude? And so I went out there, and fortunate enough, I think one of the coolest things, my roommate was Matthew Nyes. He plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs now, and just to be able to live with a guy like that was really cool. Learned a lot. So I guess from there, then I signed a tender with the Austin Bruins, one of the not so like teams here in Bismarck.
Nope, don't like them, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, we've had. We'll keep it at the Austin Bruins. And then and I was drafted that same summer by the Green Bay Gamblers in the USHL. So I started the year in Green Bay. Just wasn't the right situation for me. So I decided at the end of October that I was going to leave and go to Austin, which was just it was a really good decision. I was young. I was 17, got to play a ton of games, and Never won a game in Bismarck, actually. I was 0-4 in Bismarck.
No surprise
against
there.
the Bobcats. So, but
No
4-0 at
surprise.
home against the Bobcats. So it made no sense. But happy to be able to win here in Bismarck. Anyway, so I played that season. Then last season, I went back to Green Bay. We had a coaching change, and it was a much better situation for me. And so I went in and had a good start to the year. And then about 3 weeks into the season, in practice before our home opener, I went down, made a save, went for a rebound in practice, and I snapped my leg in half. And, right then and there, I thought it was over. It was second to last year of junior hockey, and I was like, I looked up at the clock, and it was 25 minutes into practice. I was like, well, that's about it. And so I tried to stand up, fell back down, and thought it was game over, but, rehabbed, got surgery, and I think it was when did Nico, our assistant GM, right, Nico?
Yeah.
He texted me randomly, like in April or May, and I was like, hey, it's Nico from the Bismarck Bobcats. Can you give me a call? I was like, I know nothing about Bismarck, but sure, I'll give you a call. So then I talked with Nico, and then I ended up talking to our head coach and everybody here, and everything just seemed like the perfect situation. Obviously, really historic organization. Everybody's so supportive of it, sold out every single night. We could play a game on a random Tuesday at 3 p.m. and our rink would be sold out. I mean, this place is awesome, and it's allowed me to be healthy, grow as a person and a player, and so that's kind of my long and winding road to Bismarck, North Dakota, and Randomville, I guess now.
Randomville.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Here we are.
Sorry.
I was going to ask, so talking about the winding road to North Dakota, you guys are not from North Dakota, and I'm not either. So I know when I first got here, I was like, where is everything? I mean, I literally asked my mom, I was like, where are the buildings? Because I grew up in Philly. There's skyscrapers. Right. And I'm like, that's it? Where is it? So what was your, the first time you landed in Bismarck? Like, what were your reactions?
Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, when I came up, my first year, or that affiliate year that I came up here I came up on like a Wednesday through Sunday. I want to say I got in town with my dad, and we landed late at night, and we were like, all right, let's go grab some food, like whatever. And looked up on, literally had no clue. We stayed at the Dans, or right next to the Dans, right off of State Street, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right by the highway. Mm-hmm. And we were like, we literally don't know where anything is. We drove from the airport to the hotel, and then checked in. We're like, all right, let's go grab some food. So actually, funny story, we headed over to the stadium. Okay, and I'm 17 at the time. So we go into the stadium, and we just go sit down, just want some pizza or just something quick. Mm-hmm. We were in there for about 5 minutes until we got kicked out because we didn't even know it was 21 plus. And so anyways, we ended up getting a pizza to go, and it was fine. And then the following day, went to the rink, had a little skate. One of the guys drove me around town, and driving around town, I was like, oh, all right, okay. He's like, that's the river. Nice. He's like, that's the rink. Yep. And then he's like, yeah, there's not a whole lot to do around here, but, and I was like, yeah, no, it looks great. I don't know. He's like, that's Mandan, that's Bismarck. I was like, cool.
That's it.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. But yeah, I mean, I really didn't find out what Bismarck was until I came up here the following year. I think my mom came right away, and same thing, straight to the hotel, went to the gym in the morning. First day, get to the gym in the morning, driving from the gym to the rink, okay, and that's maybe 10 minutes. And we get pulled over. We get pulled over going 33 and a 25.
Yep.
And my mom's like, why is every single road here 25 miles an hour? It's that part of it I cannot stand. Yep. The 25 mile per hour roads here. And I may be speaking for just myself, but Bismarck drivers are not the best.
No, not at all.
Valid.
Especially
100%.
On busy roads, tons of stoplights. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely better than than driving on a crowded highway. So I definitely can't complain. But then eventually ventured my way down south to the Kirkwood Mall. Saw that for the first time. Went into Shields. Walked right back out and thought that was the whole mall. I didn't even know there was a whole nother part to the mall. But no, I mean, it was definitely different for me at first because I come from a little bit of a bigger town, but I've grown to love it for sure. And it's been awesome. Now I know that there's a north and a south side of town. Yeah. And I didn't even know that when I first got here. But no, I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do around here. You just got to look for it a little bit. But, but it's good. It's fun. It's all good and fun. So
a lot of hidden gems here.
Definitely. Lots of hidden gems for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And now I guess. Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, my first experience in Bismarck was when I was playing for the Bruins. And I came to Bismarck.
So a warm welcome.
And it was January.
Oof.
And it was so stinking cold.
Was this 2022, 2023?
This was
I think it was 2022.
22, yeah.
Yeah, so it was
22.
2022. And
I think we had a pretty brutal winter.
We
that
had
year,
a
one
too.
was
brutal.
rough.
dude, it was so
brutal.
cold. And it was, and our bus, like, if you weren't driving a semi truck, like, you were sliding all over the place. And so while we get here, and then, you know, you check into the hotel, and the hotel is just, I mean, I don't know how you describe it. It wasn't the nicest we've stayed in. And you got to walk around quite often. Like, it's like a maze to get to your room. I swear I was walking for a mile and a half just to get to my room on the first floor.
Which hotel? Is it the Ramada?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even say I've been in there.
No, you have no reason to. But anyway, so we get here, and then
Great, there goes our chance at a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Sorry about
We had
that.
any.
But no, so you get here and play a game. I think the first game here, this is the most fans I ever played in front of. And my first game here, got scored on in the first 2 minutes, and the place just erupted. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be a long night. And then next thing you know, erupts again. We end up losing 7-3. And I stay in the whole time, and I go back, and I'm like, dude, I hate this place. I'm never gonna play here. Next thing, 2 years later, I'm here. But that was my first experience on the other side. But yeah, I mean, and then I was like, and then you go to other places, it's like, dang, playing in Bismarck would be pretty sweet. Like, it was cool, minus the 7-goal part, but it was a cool experience. But then this year we get here, so I'm thinking North Dakota, okay, cold, whatever. But then I look it up, there's a river, like, it's got to be halfway warm in the summer. So I drive in on August 20th, and we have a meeting at Pamperin Park at 5 p.m. And I drive in here, I'm driving in from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And, it was warm, so I'm thinking, shorts, T-shirt. I get out, and it's halfway raining and, like, 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like, get me out of here. This is it. Like, I'm done. And so that was, and then, I ended up going to my host family and great people, and had a couple of roommates so far this year. So thankful I didn't have to get dished out of the house, but no, it's been cool. It's been fun to be on this side of things. But yeah, there's a Chick-fil-A here, which is just great.
That's new.
We didn't have that my first 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
now we have
That's
Chick-fil-A
huge.
Mondays.
We do
Chick-fil-A
have Chick
Monday every
Mondays,
day
yep.
after Chick Mondays, and there's a Qdoba for your Mexican fix.
Yep.
There's a Target for all of your needs and money spending purposes.
Yep.
And but no, yeah, I mean, Bismarck's awesome. I've been here since August, first time ever here, and I mean, this is one of the most special places that I've ever played hockey, and even though it's only been one season, it's definitely holds a really special place in my heart for sure.
That's awesome, yeah. And I guess now might be as good a time as ever. As I look at Gracie, I realize I'm the only person not blonde in the recording studio right now.
Loser.
Sure, we'll let your hair grow out a little bit and then cut it. And then
Just wait till next weekend.
We're going to be bald here.
We're going to be bald in about a week.
Brave to shave coming
Yeah.
up. But let's address the blonde hair in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for myself, I'm in between right now.
Okay,
I'm in
yeah.
between stages. Okay, brown hair, bleached it.
Wait a minute. Let's find out. Let's on
Yeah.
the gritty
that's
orange
like-
scale. Let's see where your hair is.
He's
I think
close.
that's
Yeah.
pretty darn
He's
close.
in his
Just about.
he's in his money making Trump stage right now.
Trust the process. Trust
It
the
is.
process.
Yeah, so just got it bleached. Obviously I had some important stuff to do. I had to head out to Randomville. But yeah, I can definitely say after this I'm getting it toned out, and it's probably going to look a little bit better.
Yeah.
But shout out to Maddie who did my hair. She's the best. She's doing all the boys right now. So, But yeah, no, I mean, I'm in between, and obviously it's for Brave the Shave. Obviously this cancer awareness game that we have every year. So it's for a good cause, and you know what? At the end of the day, it's just hair. So
Yeah.
figured you might as well do something fun with it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been noticing. So when when you guys are doing your lineups, I'm at the bench with the puck droppers, and I've been noticing the hair getting longer and longer every
yeah.
week because I'm like, oh, they're getting ready for Brave the Shave.
Oh yeah.
We're trying to embrace it while it's still there.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Before our scalps get sunburnt beginning of summer.
But his bleached hair is a totally different story.
Mine was just completely random on a Monday, I think.
I don't remember what day it
came
was.
to the rink. Came to the rink the next day, and I was blonde, and I had a hat on, and I was just like waiting for people to see it. And then I had long hair at the time. Like I have really long hair usually, not really long hair, but longer hair. And come to the rink, and I just have a winter hat on, and I never wear a winter hat. And so that was probably the first mistake I made. And then people saw it like out of the bottom, and they like people were just walking in. I've got the first stall in the locker room, which just destroyed me, and people were like, "Bro, no way!" And
Yeah, it was an eye opener.
It was game over right there. But I've learned to embrace it. Now we got a little fade going on, and so trying to
dark to light fade.
Yeah, the dark to light fade, and shout out to Sports Clips, maybe get a sponsorship. But no, yeah, I feel like I fit in well here in Randomville. Honestly, like
for
I
sure.
feel like it's random. It happened randomly, and but like Patty said, we're all getting it shaved off next weekend anyway, next Saturday I think. So, obviously we're, just trying to have a little bit of fun. It's a long season. Gotta do something to spice it up from time to time.
Yeah.
The little things. The
It
little
is.
things
It
that
really
matter.
is.
Now, Gracie mentioned, being near where you guys line up when you come out pregame, and I guess this is a good point to mention that Gracie and I also kind of work for the Bobcats. We're game hosts at the games, and
Best
I need
interviewers
to ask,
in the world.
there we go. All right.
They are.
Yes.
They really
Unreal.
are.
Now, I got to ask you guys, this might be a little more embarrassing for you, Patrick, than for Clayton, but watching you guys come out from Zeus on a nightly basis, you see all kinds of things, funny things happen. Clayton, you specifically, I remember an interaction we had a couple weekends ago. You come out and you're feeling it. I think you were backing up
Yeah, I wasn't
Steven
playing
that
that
night.
night. Yeah.
And you're out there like, I feel good. I look good. You saw yourself on the video board. And you're like, I look
I got
good.
to-
I look good.
Yeah.
You're kind of looking around. I'm like,
Yep.
okay, yeah, he's feeling it. And we
Yep.
made eye contact. You're like, I look good. I'm like, sure.
Look
There
good,
you
feel
go.
good, team plays good, right?
Yeah. And then Patrick, I wasn't down by the bench for this one. I think you might know where I'm going with this.
For sure.
I was up in the press box for this one, and I look up as you guys are lining up, and I see someone just go into the boards.
Yep.
And you're not even skating that hard. I mean, I didn't know who that was, and then I saw the 16 on the back. I was like, oh, no.
Oh yeah. No, that was definitely not my brightest moment, but I was going in for a one-legged
It's what cool guys do.
like a one-legged
It's what cool
stop.
guys do.
Like that's usually what I do. It's like just slowly slide in, and for some reason I thought I could slide in on both feet this time, and I don't know why I tried it. I thought it was gonna look cool. Ended up biffing it probably 2 feet away from the boards,
Yep.
right in front of our bench. Knocked a couple helmets off the bench. Got up. Just had to laugh about it. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
I do hate to tell you, so we get it up on the board with our cameras. Well, that night our cameras weren't connecting to the board, but I thought, I'll record them coming out for some good content. So I actually do have you falling.
No way.
Recorded.
Nuh-uh.
Can we
Yeah.
get this video?
I need this
definitely-
video.
I should definitely
We'll put
show
that
it.
in
That's good to
for
know.
people to
Yeah.
see here.
Yeah, I
Don't
need-
let me forget to do that.
No, I will.
I need to see this for sure. Yeah, I didn't see it, nor did I think I wanted to, but I kind of do though.
Yeah,
You know, the best part,
pretty great actually.
best part about Patrick is he just embraces it. He embraces it. I mean, there's really no excuse for that though.
There's definitely no
there's no
for
covering
that,
up
but
for that. Yeah.
hey, if you mess up, you gotta own it.
You do.
Is that
Gotta
your
own
most embarrassing moment on the ice? Because I have to ask now. Myself, I play beer league. I'm a goalie. I have caught an edge while trying to slide across the crease. Completely failed. Don't make this. I mean, it's the worst way to get scored on if you don't want to get laughed at. What are those most embarrassing moments on the ice for you guys?
You going or am I?
You can go ahead, sir.
So.
And you can't use breaking your leg. You've already
No. That's not even embarrassing. That's probably more depressing.
Okay. Fair enough.
No. I think there's someone I was younger, but I think probably since I've been older, I was playing for the Tri-State Spartans. We were down at some event in Dallas, Frisco area in Texas. And it was when they did a league all-star game this year in the NAPHL, which is like the feeder league, I guess, for the NAHL. Like somehow there's a connection or something. And so having a really good tournament, played the first couple of games. Then we had a game that evening. Found out like, hey, like you're gonna go play in this game tomorrow night. Like I'm like, oh, cool, like whatever. And so we go to the all-star game, play really, really well, and then we have a game the next morning. And the game the next morning after playing great in the all-star game where everyone's watching you. And then I ended up meeting this kid's brother like 2 years later in Tri-City. This kid just like dumped in the pot, like just dumped it in from the far blue. And I go and I'm thinking, man, I've got a great stretch pass. They're going for a change. I go, I look behind me. 5 minutes into the game, I haven't even had a shot on goal yet. And I get scored on. And next thing you know, and I have a great relationship with my coach, right? And this is morning after the All-Star game, I'm feeling good about myself. I'm 16 years old, think I'm the crap. And I look over to the bench, and I see him look at our other goalie, and I see the other goalie hopping over the boards, and I'm like, no. 5 minutes into the game, I get scored up from the far blue, and I go sit on the bench, and I'm, got my pouty face on, and I'm all mad, But the best part about it was, so like I said, great relationship with the coach. And so that was the last game of the tournament. That's what everybody probably remembers me by. And so I'm getting in the car, and I get absolutely ripped. At the first intermission, I get ripped. How does that go in? How you're not ready, prepared. Like, you're never ready to go, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Coach, I've had a good tournament. Like, what the heck? And so, I'm fresh off getting ripped. I'm all mad. So I'm getting in the car to go back to the airport after this game on a Sunday morning, and the coach comes up to my car, and like my brother's there, my parents are there, and he comes up and he goes, hey, like, great weekend, like you were great for us, blah blah blah. And I'm just thinking, there is no way you just did a 360 like that. But yeah, that's one that sticks out as yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah,
that's really tough.
Percentage game right there.
Yeah, it was, and that's documented too.
Ooh,
so
that's tough.
I'm going to Elite Prospects after.
Yeah,
this, I'm gonna go back and find that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him to delete it. Elite Prospects, if you're watching.
I mean, geez, I don't know if I could even top that one, to be honest. I mean,
I have another one that's not good for the air though. We'll talk about it after.
We'll save that for after.
That was pretty bad. I remember one time when I was younger, we had a state championship game, and I don't even remember being sick during the game, like during the actual game, or like feeling bad, but I'm sure I was. But I remember winding seconds of the game, and we're all getting excited, like we're winning, like we're about to win, and I like hop off the bench, and everyone's chucking their gloves and everything. I like chuck my gloves, and then I just start throwing up through my helmet, all over the ice. Like everyone's celebrating, chucking their gloves, and I'm just puking all over the ice. And like I'm trying to be excited, but I'm sick as a dog, and it's just like, it was the absolute worst. Geez, that was pretty bad. There's another time we were playing the number 1 team in the country, and so like in youth hockey, we would get intermissions between the second and the third, but not the first and second. So we're back in the locker room after the second period, and we just got absolutely smoked the first 2 periods. And this is back when like the big water bottle flipping thing was huge. And we're all young kids, and our coach comes into the locker room, and we're all sitting there, obviously, and in the middle of the room is like the 2 cases of waters, or like the holders. It was like those Gatorade bottles that we have on the bench. And our coach comes in and just starts ripping us and just absolutely punts the water bottles in the middle of the room. And like there's one bottle that just goes up just across the whole room. And every single guy in the room is just like, and we're all watching it. And this bottle lands. It lands, and we're in the middle of just getting absolutely torn apart, and all of us just burst out dying laughing. And our coach's like, "Oh, you guys think that's funny, huh?" And then just continued ripping. But that was just a funny moment I had growing up, and the timing of it was pretty good too. And that was a popular thing. That was pretty funny.
Nice, yeah. I mean, I got another question, unless Gracie.
Nope.
So talking about coaches now, I got to ask you guys about Coach Lane Sedevy. I mean, what was it last season? 400th win. That game was, what was it? 10-4 was the final score.
Yeah,
that was
10-3, I think.
It's something like that.
Yeah,
I know
it
10
was
goals.
crazy,
I
yeah.
forget how many they scored because that doesn't matter right
Yeah.
now. But what's it like playing for a guy like him? Like, what's he like in the locker room? You know, firing you guys up. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously I've been here a little longer than Clayton, but even from the first time I came here, you know, his intensity obviously I think shines brightest, but I think his care for his players is something that a lot of people don't fully understand about him. And he's a total players coach. He loves to get to know his players, and obviously wants to know their wants and needs, and obviously whatever the kid wants to work on or whatever he needs to get to that next level, the coaching staff and the organization does whatever they can to kind of to do that for each guy that comes through this organization, which is something pretty special. But, you know, obviously there's been some great coaches, but to have a coach that gets 400 wins in the same league, that kind of speaks for itself. And he's obviously pretty intense, like I said, but, you know, he gets guys to work for him, and every guy respects him for multiple reasons. But, you know, playing for someone that cares about the game, that wants to give back to the game, that wants to move you on, and just honestly on an everyday basis is motivated to kind of get better each day, and whether it's 1% better or whatever that may be. But I mean, it's been a great 4 years. There's definitely been some funny memories too, for sure, that I could share. But you know, it's been nothing but good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think from my perspective, obviously, like Patty said, haven't been here as long, and you know, different positions too. Lane was a goalie, and I'm a goalie, so it's really nice to play for someone that understands the position. I mean, I like to talk about goaltending. It's a foreign language to a lot of people, and so to play for someone that understands, you know, just kind of from a mental day-to-day aspect, what it's like to be a goalie, especially at this level. And you know, I like he said, the intensity. You know, I mean, guys aren't afraid of him, but like he said, guys respect him. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that he's a guy that you don't want to let down. And I think that's the biggest thing in a coach is, you know, he does a lot for you as a player, does a lot for you as a person. You know, he truly does care about you, more than anyone could really ever understand. You know, like randomly this week or last week, you just pulled me aside, and, you know, we just sat down and we just talked, and I can walk in the office in the morning and say, "Hey, good morning, coach," and, you know, I could turn to a 10-15 minute conversation. And so, you know, he just asked about how you're doing. You know, if you've talked to any schools, you know, before. Obviously both of us committed. You know, what's your day-to-day been like? How's your family doing? How's your billet situation? You know, how's your body? Like, he truly cares, and that's something really special. And, you know, what's great is that I feel like a lot of coaches, you know, they're in it for themselves almost. I mean, I'm not trying to talk crap about people, but, you know, like coaches, like players are here to move on and coaches are here to move on too, obviously. And that's what's tough about junior hockey is getting guys to buy in to win. A lot of guys come to junior hockey and, everyone wants a Division I scholarship, right? There's only so many. Every coach wants to coach in the NHL, right? But there's only 32 guys that get to do that. And so I think what's really special is Lane's created a culture and we've all created a culture like, he's the boss. He's going to be in charge. He's going to make the final decisions. But at the end of the day, it's a players-led team, and that's really cool. And Patrick's been here for 4 years, and this year especially, he's done a really good job of, bringing the guys together as one. We've got 0 cliques in the locker room. Everybody's there for each other, and I could go on and on, but I'm just really, truthfully, more than thankful, more than blessed to be able to, play in Bismarck for Lane. Not to mention our assistant coach, Hunter Laszlo, too. That guy frickin' does it all. Like, everything. That guy legit does it all. Like,
anything you could ask for, he's done it.
He sharpens your skates. He switches your blades middle of the game. He's taping sticks for guys on the bench mid-game. He's going and grabbing whiteboards. He's helping, like the guy does everything, and he works his bag off. And when you have 2 guys that work hard for the players, it makes the players want to work hard for them back. And I think over time that's created such an unbelievable culture here. And a huge part of the reason why we've had the success here that we've had this year and the last 27 years Bobcats have been here in Bismarck. So extended answer, but I think there's just really not enough good things to say about the people that we get to play for on a daily basis.
Yeah, and if I could just piggyback off that real quick, but obviously, like you said, with coaches doing it for their own individual reasons, and Lane's obviously from Bismarck and he wants to give back to his community, and obviously he wants to move his players on, and whether that's for himself or whatever, but it kind of speaks for itself, a guy that's been coaching in the same organization for 15 years, I think it is now, and you don't really get that too often. And so that obviously speaks for itself, and obviously the success this organization has had, and everything like that, all that kind of culminates around him. He's, at the end of the day, he's the boss. So
yeah, like last week in Aberdeen, he said something that truly, it doesn't really resonate with you or in junior hockey. Obviously it's kind of a cliche. It's a privilege to wear this sweater. It's a privilege to wear this sweater, and every coach says it, right from learn to play all the way up to original 6 NHL franchise. But I think until you really learn what Bismarck is as a community first, the people here. And I really think until you wear this sweater, and it means something to you, you don't really understand that.
Yeah.
But when he said that, it makes you think, it makes you reflect, and it really is. It's a privilege, it's an honor, and you have a responsibility that comes with playing for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and and talking about giving back to the community. So I know you guys have done quite a bit in the community this year. I know, Clayton, you've only been here for a year. There's the stock bid. He's only been here for a year, so we'll talk. Talk a little more to Patrick.
Talk to the important guy. I get it.
And Patrick, you've had a C on your chest for, is this your 3rd year as a captain? So kind of being that leader in the locker room, but also seen as a leader in the community. What's it like to get out and interact with the people in town off the ice?
Yeah, it's obviously been an honor and a privilege to wear that, to wear a letter to those last 3 years, but. Honestly, this community has given everything to this team, and to be able to give back to that, whether it's to little kids or to big companies, whether it's going to deliver season tickets and having a short conversation with an owner at some office or whatever it is, or whether it's we go to schools and talk to these little kids about bullying and being kind, and doing little things like that. And then seeing them at our games, and like I said, seeing all that kind of come full circle, it's probably one of the cooler things that I've ever been a part of. And over these last years, it's, this community is. I never thought I'd be a small town person, but I think Bismarck has kind of turned me into one. And I'm a very family oriented person as well, so kind of having that family and that community bond, I guess, is something pretty important to me. So, and Bismarck's just full of great people. At the end of the day, I don't think I've met a single bad person from here, and that goes a long way in a community, whether it's pulling a community together for various reasons. Could be anything, but pulling a community together. Everyone has each other's back here, and to me, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I have to say, so part of my job, our job as game host, is to bring puck droppers from our sponsor parties, and generally they're like little kids, and when I bring them down to the bench, I tell them what's going to happen, and they are terrified. They're so scared. They see how slick the ice is, and they're terrified, and I go, don't worry, one of the players is going to come over and help you out. And they go, is it Patrick? And I'm like, yeah, it's Patrick. He's going to come help you. And like just the relief. And then they're so excited, and you just definitely have like a good way with the kids and calming them
Thank
down.
you.
And yeah.
Thank you.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's fun to see the little kids, because we'll go out to the dot, and going out to the dot, they're nervous, won't really talk much, and I'll try and like get something out of them, but after they drop the puck and they're walking back, they're blabbing their mouths the whole time.
Awesome.
So that part of it's pretty cool, and it's obviously that's another thing that it's just cool to kind of see the support that we have in this town.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got a question. We've only got a couple minutes left, and I've only got a couple questions left on my mind, but there's one thing I remember from my childhood watching hockey that just, it instantly, I'm not going to lie, it's the moment that made me want to be a goalie. And that is, it has nothing to do with on-ice performance. And I'm interested to see if you guys have these kind of moments when you were younger, or you remember these, or maybe being older, being able to do these. But so I had the Fargo Moorhead Ice Sharks in Fargo. I was from Castleton, so close enough, and USHL team. But they moved to Chicago around 2000, and my dad was trying to figure out ways to get us to hockey games for cheap. Well, D3 Concordia Moorhead's there, and we go to those games. I think it was $5 for an adult, and kids get in free. And I mean, it's heaven when you got two kids.
Yeah.
So my dad would bring me and my brother there, and the goalie for Concordia Moorhead, whenever the puck was down in his end at the end of the period, skates over, grabs the puck, or like ref picks it up, he'd go over, grab it from the linesman, whatever. And as he's skating off the ice, he tosses it over the glass to one of the kids down there. And I think me and my brother, we got 3 or 4 pucks that way, just from a couple games we went to like that. And like that moment, I was like, A, hockey is freaking awesome. B, I so badly want to be a goalie just because of how cool that goalie was. I don't know if you guys have had experiences on either side of that, but just something about like that puck as a souvenir is one of the coolest things.
Yeah, well, when I was younger, I still have it to this day. Every NHL or whatever pro rink that I went to, any town that we were driving by that had a college team, everything, I have a puck collection, and with every puck or every place I've ever been that has a hockey team with a puck with their logo on it. And, that's just kind of like something I've had I have no idea where it's at now, but I know I have it somewhere. But no, I think, obviously that's every kid's thing, and be like, oh my goodness, like I got a puck here, I got a puck there, and whatever. But I think the coolest thing now from our perspective is, especially here in Bismarck, all these guys in the NFL and the NHL, they have a platform where they're at. And in Bismarck, truthfully, I think we have a platform here. I think everyone can agree to that. And it's really cool. Like a couple examples, like today I went to we volunteered with a little bit more of an underprivileged school here in Bismarck, and I was meeting with this kid and could just, tell he's a really good kid, maybe just having a hard time with whatever's happening at home with his family and stuff. And so I talked to the counselor of the school, and I said, hey, like, he's a really good kid. Like, he truly is. I was like, tell him that if he's good for the rest of the week, and this was on like a Tuesday, I said, if he's good for the rest of the week, I'll get him tickets to the Bobcats game, and I'll show him around like our locker room and stuff after the game, take him on the ice. And so today I did that. Actually, I took the tickets. I got tickets from upstairs and took him to the school, and just to see the kid smile on his face, and like everybody went up to him because they saw my Bobcats coat on, and it was the coolest thing because and just like giving pucks to kids or kids asking for your autograph, you're thinking like for us it's like we're playing junior hockey, like we're not making any money doing this, but to them it's everything, and you kind of. Sometimes you're like, man, why would they want my autograph? But then you remember when you were their age that you were the same kid looking up to the same people, and now that dream has come true, and you're exactly where you always dreamed of being. And I think that's probably the coolest thing, and especially now, going to college, and now you're just one step closer to the ultimate dream of playing professional hockey. And so I just think that's the coolest thing, is just to see it come to fruition a little bit, and to be able to give back what I looked up to so much.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, I mean, for me, I was pretty lucky. A lot of my buddies growing up their dads were ex-NHL players, ex-Blues players. So the Blues alumni has a pretty big role in hockey in St. Louis. So, and even, like I said, when I moved up to New York, my buddy's dad who played for the Blues at the time, and I was lucky enough to have guys like TJ Oshie come out and skate with us for practice, and David Backus, Kevin Shattenkirk, some pretty cool people that I've gotten to meet through that. And, obviously that was something at the time where I kind of look at it, and at the time I was probably like, wow, like these guys are obviously NHL players, like this is pretty cool. But I really don't think until I got a little bit older, I kind of realized how cool that actually was. And, I still have signed pucks, jerseys, sticks, and all that stuff hanging out in my room from all those guys. So kind of that was, for me, when I was a little kid, I was obviously lucky enough to have guys like that.
Nice. Yeah. And I guess we got just enough time for one more question, unless you got something, Gracie.
No.
Not really? All right.
I didn't learn about hockey until I became friends with you and went to a Bobcats game, and I was really annoying. I was like, wait, what does that mean? What is that? Like, why did they blow the whistle? What's going on? And
what does offsides mean?
Yeah. Like, can they get in more fights? Like, that's why I'm here,
Oh, yeah.
Being from Philly, gotta,
Have to.
Yeah.
You're there for the
Gotta
aggression,
rep it
right?
out. Oh, yeah.
So I guess last question for you guys. I mean, it's kind of obvious, Patrick, if you uncross your arms, we might be able to figure out where you're going. Clayton didn't get the memo. Then again, we didn't send out a memo.
Yeah.
But where are you guys going to be at next year? I mean, playing D1 hockey, where is it going to be?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going to Robert Morris University. It's just right outside of Pittsburgh. Yeah, so obviously the last 4 years, that's kind of been a pretty big thing to go to a Division I school. That's been a goal of mine since I was a little kid, but that came true at the beginning of this season, and to kind of have that, I wouldn't say pressure, but almost like a little bit of relief to kind of get off my shoulders and just focus on the season, not have to worry about a college commitment. But it's an honor, obviously, and I've worked pretty hard up to this point, and the real work is just starting now. So gonna finish it out this year and then head out there next fall.
All right, and then Clayton, for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the sweatshirt to show it like this hot shot over here, but I'm going to University of Minnesota Duluth. So I'll be a Bulldog for the next 4 years, which I'm super pumped about. It's the conference, the NCHC is it's something I've wanted to play in my entire life, and I feel like it's kind of looked at as one of the best conferences in college hockey, and not the North Dakota people around here aren't really too fond of it. They're like, oh man, but no, it's really a dream come true. One of my best friends, he's a freshman there right now, and he got me a sweatshirt two Christmases ago when he committed, and I was like, oh, nice. Like, yeah, maybe I'll go there too. Like, just as a joke. And then, so I wore it once it started getting cold here in Bismarck this year, and I walk in the locker room, everyone's like, oh, Napper, you're going to Duluth. I'm like, dude, there's no chance. Like, I'm not, no, I'm not. Like, it's just a sweatshirt my buddy got me, and just about a month ago, talked to Duluth and decided that was the best situation for me. It's kind of truly as a dream come true, and especially with where it's at. And there's been a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, the leg thing last year. I don't admit it too often, but I almost quit hockey after that whole thing. I just couldn't get it back, and I just had so many people saying, you know what, keep going, like stop, like you've put your whole life into this, and like Patty said, like you work so hard just to get to this point. Why not take the next step and keep going? And obviously very thankful for all those people that pushed me to keep going. And so, yeah, I'll be going to Minnesota Duluth, and maybe in a non-conference play we can play against this
I'll score a couple goals.
Orange-headed looking guy over here.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll probably cheer just a little less loud against Duluth as a North Dakota fan.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's cool, too. Like, everybody around here, all you see is sue this, sue that, UND hockey this. And now I'm walking around and I got to put away the Duluth sweatshirt a little bit because I get targeted in public, but no, it's cool. And another thing you didn't ask, but we have, I think, 13 guys committed on our team, 13 or 14 Division I commitments. But the coolest thing ever is nobody cares where you're going. Nobody cares if you're committed, if you're not committed. But like for the 13, 14 guys that are committed, like what's cool is that, you know, we have that logo next to our game now, or next to our name on the lineup chart. And so now our goal is obviously keep working hard, you know, perform the best we can for the team. But I know, at least for me, and obviously he's captain of the team for a reason, and we want the same thing for the next guy. You know, the other 13 guys or 12 guys that don't have the Division I commitment, that's our goal. You know, so it's really cool here. Like I commit, he commits, a couple other guys commit at the beginning of the year, and now it's our goal. You know, they helped us commit, so now it's our responsibility to help them commit too, and so I think that's what's pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for coming here to Randomville. You know, we intro the show with how to get to Randomville. We don't outro with how to leave.
Yeah,
so,
I do not know how I'm going to make it out of here.
You guys are going to have to figure out how to get out of here on your own, but that's your problem. Anyway, folks, thanks for joining us here in Randomville, North Dakota, from the middle of the Hoople Triangle, where these two guys might not escape from, although for the Bobcats' sake, we hope you do. Feel free to check out randomvillend.com. I mean, that's basically where everything is. I mean, the merch, you can listen to old audio episodes from when we had to bleep everything when Dan would swear every fifth word.
Which we missed like half of them.
Yeah, we did. And by we mean me, because I'm the guy that edits these. So anyway, thanks for joining us here in Randomville. Don't forget to hit the merch store. Wow, I can't talk anymore. There we go. I talk for a living and I can't talk. Hit the merch store, buy his mug, buy his shirt. Dan's not got his face on anything.
My dad's
Your
cup.
dad has a cup and a shirt that he drew. Anyway, randomvillend.com. Bye, folks. Thanks for joining us.
It doesn't get any better than that.